Hello guys, MikuChibi here. Welcome to Sword Art Online Fact video, and this is an updated guide for Mod Fodder, the best mod fodder or attachment for your mod skill. And this is making sure everything is up to date. The last video I made was a year ago, 10 months ago, something like that. I just want to make sure everything is up to date so everyone can follow all the fresh new guides. Now for Mod Fodder, I would say nothing much has changed for last year. It's still the same, we're still using the same fodder because they are still really good. If you did see the last year video, you're still fine, you're still up to date. So this video is just for 2024. So please enjoy and let me know in comment if you want to add any mod fodder that you think that is worth to be mentioned. Of course, I will also put timestamps so you can just click through which one you are interested in. Let's say you're interested in Rapier, you can just click on that and that's fine. This is just a guide to help every single player that is still lost in what fodder you should put in your mod skill. So let's get started. Let's start with sword. So what fodder do you want to equip on your mod sword? Well, we have a few options. We have the 3 slots, 2 slots, 1 slot fodder, and other alternative that you can equip on your mod sword. Let's start with the 3 slots. So 3 slots, you can see there are only 3 fodders that you can equip on your mod sword. Well, one of them you can only equip on 2 mod sword, which is Put Your Heart Into It Yuki and Man of the Day Kirito. Now the reason is because the bonus in this Yuki mod fodder here, it requires to use non-elemental skill, and there are only 2 mod sword in this game right now that have a non-elemental, which is the ones 2 I mentioned. So it kind of restricted, though it is really strong, definitely stronger than these 2, but it is limited to 2 mod sword or 2 non-elemental mod sword. Now let's talk about the 2 here, Yuju and Alice. Asur Swordsman Yuju, this one is free and you can get this one from the Alicization event, the Underworld. Really easy to do and definitely worth to obtain right immediately once you have a mod sword, and then you try to unlock your first slot on your mod sword. Now why is it really good? Well, it scales with defense, and the higher defense you have, the more attack the skill will gain, because you gain attack times 2. So let's say you have 5000 defense and use the skill. Now the defense will convert to attack, where the build will be 10,000 attack to the skills, which is a lot. So that's why it's really good. That's why people really like to build a lot of defense. That's why sword build have been really popular with defense. Is a really important stat. Same goes for Knight of Resolution Alice. Both is basically the same. They have the same bonus. Now Alice has a crit. You get 50% crit if you have a defense buff, which is alright, really good for early game, mid game, but late game when the boss has high crit resistance, it kind of useless, but still you will deal a lot of damage. Now the only problem with this skill here is that it is gacha and you have to be really lucky to get it. Now the good thing is it is in general pool. By general pool I mean you can get it randomly in any banner. So let's say you get this one from free banner, from the free polls. That is really good. That is amazing. You're really lucky. That means you can use dual mod sword if you want to, if you have 2 mod. If you do have 2 mod, definitely worth to try to unlock both the first slot for the mod sword and equip these 2. Then you can run double mod sword, which has been really popular back in 2020 till 2023. Next, we have the 2 slots. Now 2 slots, they have basically the same description as both of Juju and Alice, but this time it doesn't double, instead it just times 1 defense. So they will deal less damage, but they will have a second bonus, which is extra damage for slash. This is where this 1 slot comes in clutch. This one, Ocean Run Kirito. This one has basically the same as these all three here, but it is only 1 slot. So if you combine Kirito, Ocean Runner Kirito with one of these 3 here, you will gain now double bonus for the defense. That means you will have 2x instead of 1, which is basically the same level as Yuju and Alice. You will also get the double bonus, which is damage done to weak to slash. Ocean Run Kirito has 10% and the other has 15%. together they will be 25% damage. So 2 times defense into attack plus 25% damage against enemy that weak to slash. That is much better than Juju and Alice. Though that's required to have this skill, of course, if you do have them. If you do have them, you can run that. And I have seen people run triple Mod Fodder in a build, which is funny. And it kind of works. So yeah, that is an option that you can do. Now we do also have this skill here, which is actually real strong, but not strong as Ocean Runner. This one gives you a flat attack, 1000 flat attack on the scale when you modify, which is alright for a Mod Fodder, but not the best ones. For other alternatives that you can use as a Mod Fodder, which is the mod skill. This is just 2 examples, but you can use any mod skill that you have left over as a Mod Fodder if you have. And let's say you have, let's see, do you have another holy? Okay. Let's say this is your main damage, this Yuki here, right? And you don't have these 2. Then you can equip this one. This is another holy. You can modify this mod skill here into this one. That works as well. Not the best option, but it is somewhat you can do if you don't have the best ones, which is the 3 slot or any of these 2 slot 1 slot combination. So the Mod Fodder can work, but not really recommended. So that is what you can do. So other alternative is basically all other Mod Sword if you have any extra spares. That's all. And for the rest, definitely not worth it. They are pretty much useless, or not really useless, but not really useful compared to the other fodder here that I mentioned. They works really perfect and they do the damage. These 7 here, 3 slot, 2 slot, 1 slot are the best option, and the other option is alright, not the best things. But yeah, so that is for Sword. So what fodder do you want to equip on your Rapier mod? Well, in general, you just want to equip any flat attack and crit because that works perfect for Rapier. That is where you build around. And we do have many options for that. For 3 slot, we do have Light Scarlet, Gazing at the Sky, and Flower Arrangement. These 3 does have flat attack and crit damage in their bonus. But keep in mind, if you can't crit, then the crit damage bonus is kind of useless. And I'm preferring using these 2 here as a mod skill other than as a Mod Fodder, but you can still use them as a Mod Fodder if you want to. Next we have the Vice Commander Asuna, which is actually really good 3 slots. And it works more perfect if you have its mod skill, which is the Inherent Technique Asuna, which is a really strong mod rapier, and it's a non-element, so it works perfect with the Vice Commander. Keep in mind, it's a long animation and has a high cooldown, but it should be fine if you have a connected rapier that can reduce this cooltime, which should be fine. Other option you can use is the flat attack, but also boosting element. With, for example, Beach Asuna, it's boosting the earth element, and the fighting Asuna that's boosting dark element. So these 3 slots work quite well. For 2 slots, we do have a little bit more flexible. We have this Asuna here. This one gives you flat attack, but also more attack if you have frostbite on the enemy, which can be really flexible in any mod rapier, really good. Then we have the Bride Asuna, which is actually really good, almost same levels as the 3 slot here, but the only difference between the Bride Asuna and the 3 slot is that it has 20 crit damage less, but it only costs 2 slots. That means you can put any 1 slot fodder, which you can see below here, any fodder here. Let's say you want to equip White Future Asuna, which is a free skill that you can equip. That means you will be getting 800 attack here, so together you'll be getting 2300 attack on the skill and also 100 crit damage, so that is a nice option. For 1 slot, we do have a few options. The first 3 here, these 3 giving flat attack, really nice. If you need more flat attack, then you can equip one of these 3, really good. For crits, we do have crit fodder as well. Yuki gives 100% crit rate and 80% crit damage, really good fodder, especially for a content that doesn't have any high crit resistance. This Yuki fodder shines the most. We do have 2 more crit rate fodder, which is 300% crit rate. Koharu and Asuna. These two is really strong, and you can actually combine all three if you want to. If you combine all three, Yuki, Koharu, Asuna, then you will have 700 crit rate and 80% crit damage, which is a good combo against enemy that has a high crit resistance. And lastly, you can use like a commit, which is giving more damage to Frost, which is a decent one. Other alternative, you can basically use any mod rapier that have in spear. Let's say you have Glimmer, Flash, Asuna, you can use these as a mod fodder. If you have any spare of mod rapier, use them as a fodder if you want to. For example, here, I can show a screenshot here. I'm using my Yuki as a mod, and then I'm using this limited Asuna as a mod fodder with White Future. So these are White Future, not the strongest, not the best, but it should work pretty well. And I kind of like it. So these are just example that I can use. So other alternative, any mod skill that have left over, you can use them as a mod fodder. So yeah, that is for rapier. For dagger, what fodder do you want to on your dagger mod? Well, there are few options here. I would say there are few options, but most of them is probably from the 2 slots. But let's start with 3 slots. So 3 slot we do have Argo, which can be really good in general. And then we have Layla, which is only focused on wind, so it is fine, but I will say this one is better being outside a mod than being a fodder. For Argo, you do need to rely on stacking or putting elements which make it stronger, but I would say there are better combination which make this a little bit weaker. Now for 2 slots, if you have any spare dagger mod, you can use them as a fodder. That's all. These are just an example. All of these is mod skill, and there are more mod dagger here that is down here. So you can use any mod dagger as fodder if you have any spare. Works very well. I would say 1 slot has more impact, I would say, since they have damage and the scales on element. For example, we do have Stila and Koharu, which are free. You are able to get them during progressing through the story. They work pretty well, really good, really strong. I really like them. Ghost allies, with increasing your attack, it depends how many there are on the enemy. Philia, really flexible, giving you already attack and also more damage if the enemy is poisoned, really good. Then we have Argo, which is same as Philia, giving damage and also increasing your attack on the skill, really good. And then we have Clever Cut Koharu, which increasing the water damage and also more damage with slash. So 1 slot is really good on dagger. Other alternative, if you want to play support, you can apply more stacking, any stacking, for example Argo, Philia, those, any bonus that gives more stacking on the enemy. Then we have Japanese Lifa, which is more damage when the boss is not targeting you, really good. And then we have Enjoy Vacation Silka, which is more damage, lower HP you have. We do also have First Bite Lifa, which works pretty well with Silica, so you can combine them if you want to. So there are decent amount option you can use on dagger. Most of the best fodder is when you're getting more attack, depends on the elements. Otherwise, if you don't really want to do that, then you can use any 2 slots fodder that gives you flat attack and also element bonus damage. Mace. I would say we don't have that many options. Use that you want fodder that relies on having mark, death mark, because that is where Mace DPS shine the most. So all here you can see here from 3 slot, 2 slot, 1 slot are relying mostly on death mark. If you don't have death mark, they are pretty much useless, but they are really strong when you have a death mark on the enemy. And death mark is basically those that gives you more damage, 1.5 more damage, 2x times damage, or 2.5. Any of those death mark, really good. So if you have that in your set, or having death mark on Koharu to support your damage, your mace is pretty good. So for 3 slot we do have Elizabeth, which is a really strong fodder, but there are other combinations that will make it better than Elizabeth. This one is more flexible and you can have it on your second mod if you're running double mace DPS. Elizabeth is another 3 slot that you can use, but this one doesn't have death mark, so this is relying on you having an earth skill, and plus 3 more Elizabeth. But it is a mod skill, so you can actually use this as a mod and then put any mod fodder. Let's say you're putting Sylvia inside Elizabeth, and then you will have a really strong Earth Mace. For 2 slot, these are also Death Mark. I would say Karu a little bit more stronger than these two, but these two is pretty much really flexible and really nice to have, really good. And you can combine it with any 1 slot here. Any 1 slot here, for example, this Matter is free. You can get this free during progressing through the story, and you combine it with the 2 slot and you have a really strong fodder. 1 slot, all of these are basically the same. They have the same bonus, and if you want to, you can actually put all these 3 together in 1 mod, and they should be the same as Elizabeth here, the 3 slot one, or even better. Other alternative, well, we do of course have other alternative, which is putting other mod skills. Yes, other alternative, you can basically use any mod mace that you have a spare. For example, Koharu, that buffing wind and giving flat, you can use that as fodder if you have another wind mod that is a bit stronger. Otherwise, these 8 should be the best option for Mace DPS. So this is mostly for Mace DPS, that's all. And they are performing really well. For Axe, they are main option, but most of them comes from being a mod skill. So all of this here you can see are mod skill except for Leaf and Argo. So in general, any spare mod skill they have on the Axe, they can be as a mod fodder, which comes in other alternative here. For 3 slot, we do have Argo, Yujo, and Red Hood Yujo. Yeah, Argo is the one that gives you more attack. It depends how much HP you have, which is real nice. Yujo, it boosting your attack by a lot, depends how much HP the enemy has left. So if the enemy has above 50% HP, then your attack will be increased by 250, which is actually a lot, and that's when you will deal a lot of damage. But after that, when the boss being reduced by half, I have less than 50% HP, then this skill gets weaker, but it should be really strong. And this one, these are used 3 slots. These are used another 3 slot fodder that increases your attack and also your water damage. That's all. For 2 slots, basically the first 6 here, they scaling with your HP. The more remaining HP you have, the more attack you will get. So they are pretty much really flexible, and you can equip inside any mod skill. You can even combine them with them together. So let's say this is your main damage, then and you have this as a spare, then you can modify this fodder into the other Lifa and you should be good. So that works pretty well. Then we have Ninja Argo, gives you more attack, depends of your remaining HP. Lifa is basically same situation as Yujo, giving more attack, depends if the enemy has more than 50% HP. So this one is really good. For 1 slot, we do have a really old one, which has been used and has been really strong, which is acting the same as Yujo and Lifa, but a little bit weaker, but they should be the same. And then we have the 1 slot, which also scales with enemy HP. If the enemy HP is above 50%, then your attack will be increased. So they are actually really good. Other alternative, like I said, you can use any mod axe that you have as spare as a fodder. Though this is for specific. This one is boosting fire, I believe, right? This is boosting holy, this one boosting water, and this one is boosting break and attack. So you can use them as a fodder, but this is something you want to focus on if you want to, especially the 1 slot and 3 slot, really good. 2 slot is also really good. So yeah, this is what axe fodder you can use. Wow, spear, yes, my most hated weapon to yet in gacha. Yeah. Anyway, spear, we do have some option for spear as well. These are the ones I will say is alright to use. Let's start with 3 slots. So 3 slot, we have Yuna here. This is a mod skill that you can use as fodder if you want to, but it is actually a really good mod, so definitely try to use this one as a mod. And if you do have this Sachi here, the final Candice I think it's called, it works pretty well with Yuna, so they have good synergy. They both need fire buff, so they work pretty well, really good together. This Sachi here is similar to Sachi here, the final Sachi. Now this one is focused more on earth and not fire. So it is a good fodder for Earth build on Spear. Next we have the 2 slots. I would say this one is kind of similar to Final but little less damage. It has 50% instead of 100 and gives you flat attack 1200. If you have equipped 2 or was it 3 more Sachi, it is a really good fodder for fire build. Now we have these 3 here. Now they have a similar bonus here. So Yuki, Klein, Sachi, they need a specific character to get more attack. So this Yuki here needs more Yuki skill core. Now Yuki, she has really amazing skills. She have a really great pool of passive and active skill. When it comes to spear, she does have a really good spear skills that you can use, have a good synergy. And passive, she has really strong passive skill that you can equip. Now for Klein and Sachi, they do need Kirito skills. Now Kirito doesn't have the best spear in the game right now. Hopefully they're gonna release more spear for Kirito. And for passive, he has some really good passive skill. Now the only issue that some of them is perfect for sword and it's not really perfect for spear. So we are kind of limited on what Kirito skill we can use on a spear set. So it's kind of hard to build around Kirito with Klein or Sachi or any of the bonus that require Kirito or any other character. But if the bonus was like build around Sachi, then you have many options for that. For 1 slot, we do have this one, and I think it's called Windblade Sachi. I don't really remember, but this is a really good fodder for wind. You only need to do a wind buff on yourself. You will receive 100% wind damage and also additional damage. It's kind of small additional damage, 1500. But the first bonus is really good. Then we have the Priestess Sachi, a really good one, 300% crit rate. Ooh, that is actually really good. And also more damage, very nice. Festival Sachi is also very good 1 slot, gives you 25% damage when the enemy has a buff, and also reduce stacking on the enemy if the enemy has any stack on them. Now here we have 2 free skills that we can get from through the story, Typhoon and Sending Love Sachi. Typhoon, it does require you to have a dark buff on yourself to get the attack, the flat 600 attack, and it works pretty well in a dark build. If you don't have any dark buff, it's kind of useless, that's all. And they're definitely a better option for 1 slot, but it is free, so you can still use it. This is Sending Love, I believe it's called, right? Sending Love. I believe this is called Sending Love, or was it Sending Wish? Something like that. Sending Wish Sachi, Sending Love Sachi. This one is pretty much friendly. You just need to apply bleed, and the bonus will be activated, or the skill with this bonus will receive 30% attack, which is really good. And then we have this one that gives 50% win, that's all. Other alternative that you can use is this one. I think it's called Resolution Strike Sachi, a really good mod that is being a mod fodder. You can use this one as mod fodder if you want. It is really flexible, and this one can use in any mod spear. It is really good. Other than that, you can use any mod spear as a mod fodder if you have any leftover. This one is a mod skill that can be a mod fodder that you can use. Same goes for this Sachi. Then we have more here. You can use this one, you can use this one, you can do this one. So you can use any mod skill as a mod fodder for spear. Now when it comes to this one, we do have Yuki here that gives 100% attack when you switch. It's not that great since it only works on switch and that's all. And spear, it can be hard to get fast switch game, and you do have long animation, so this one is alright. Lever here, this is a crit fodder for spear. Yes, though spear doesn't have any crit rate, so it can be hard to actually crit unless you have a lot of buff, but it kind of weak when it comes to high end content since spear doesn't have any crit rate fodder. I mean, unless with this one, if you combine it with this one, then it can work. But otherwise, if you don't have this one, then this one is kind of useless, that's all. And lastly, we have this one. This one is alright, not the best, even though it's a 3 slot, it's not the best one for now, but maybe in the future it can be good, who knows. But yeah, so that is for spear. These are the few options that you can use for your mod fodder. Alright, so last one we have bow. Yes, bow has some really strong fodder when it comes to DPS. Now the only issue is that when it comes to bow fodder, most of them does require to be not targetable. That means the enemy cannot target you, otherwise you're gonna lose a lot of damage. So most of them are related to being in a party or in raid, where you have someone that is aggro on the boss. There aren't that many fodder for bow when it comes to like solo content. Otherwise you had to like modify with other mod skill. For example, this one here. This one is really good for solo content. This is a really good mod that can act as a fodder for bow and is really good for solo content. Same goes for other mod skill that can also act as a fodder. They works well in the solo content most. But if you want to deal a lot of damage, definitely try out those that require to be in a party or in raid. They are mostly the strongest one to give you the most damage. So let's start with the first one. A really strong fodder here. Black Winged Sniper Xenon, really strong. It gives you 250% damage. 250% damage when you are not targeted. That is really strong, really good. Now this one, Nurse Xenon, this is also a solo content for mostly holy set only. And currently we only have this one as being in the holy set. So this is the strongest for solo content only. For 2 slot we have this one. This is a really strong, a little bit weaker than Black Winged Sniper, but 175 is still really good. And since it's a 2 slot, you can combine it with the free skill here that we get through the story. This one gives you 100%, so 100% plus 175 is 275, which should be 25% more damage than if you have a 3 slot. So it is a really good combination, so it is a really good one. We do have other option as well. Now these 2 mod skill here, both are mod skill, but they can also be a mod fodder because they are really good. That means they can be really flexible. 1% damage. Now you only get 1%, so similar to 1 slot, but also getting attack if you have critical skill in your set. So that is really nice additional. So that is for 2 slots. And for 1 slot we do have these 3 skills here. These 3 skills here gives you 1% damage when you're not being targeted. So if you combine all these 3 here, you will get 300%, which is 50% higher than the 3 slots. So if you do have all 3 here, you can combine that if you want to. Otherwise, mix and match with the 2 slot combo, which is really nice. 275 with this one combo, or 200% if you combine it with these 2. So really strong fodder, especially this one since it's free. So that is really good, really nice. And with that, you can also combine it with this Moon Archer Silica here, but this one does less damage, 3% only for 2 slots. So this one is a bit weaker. For 2 last, we do have these 2 Xenon here. They have the same bonus and it gives you more damage based on your attack. And with Reckless Courage and other buffs, you're getting a lot of attack, so it can be getting big. So they are a nice additional. Other alternatives I already mentioned, using a mod skill as a mod fodder, that you can do that if you don't have any of this non-targetable. Most of the time, if you solo content, you're gonna need to equip mod skill into a mod skill. That's all when it comes to bow, if you are doing a solo content. So yeah, that's what's for bow. Not that many option for solo content, but when it comes to party and raid, you have really good option or really strong fodder. And that should be everything. All the mod fodder that I think are the best mod fodder for your skills. And if I did forget a fodder that should be mentioned in this video, let me know in comments. Otherwise, I will see you guys on the next video, guys. Take care now and bye bye.